Hello and welcome everyone to your very own channel blinkX. दोस्तों, we are back with Pranav Mer, who is the commodities expert at JM Financial Services. तो मार्केट में तो बहुत अच्छी तेजी है, सब लोग में बहुत जज्बा भरा है. कमोडिटीज में क्या हो रहा है, ये आज हमें प्रणव समझाएंगे. एंड नॉट ओनली दैट, वी गॉट समथिंग स्पेशल फॉर यू ऑल. Along with commodities outlook, Pranav is also going to tell us कि जो इकोनॉमिक इंडिकेटर्स रहते हैं, जैसे ऑयल प्रोडक्शन हो गया, ऐसे ऐसे जो इन अ मंथ इन इंडिकेटर्स का डेटा जब आता है, उसका इम्पैक्ट ना ही कमोडिटीज पे पड़ता है बट इक्विटीज पे भी पड़ता है. तो इस कैलेंडर के बारे में भी प्रणव विस्तार से समझाएंगे. सो लेट्स वेलकम प्रणव. प्रणव, हाय, हाउ आर यू डूइंग टुडे?
All good, all good, all good. Yeah, so
So Pranav,
let's
take us through this, what you have set up for us today.
okay. So I'm just sharing the screen with everyone. Screen. Okay. So this goes with audio. So is my screen visible?
Yeah, we're good to.
So let's start then.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. So some important disclosures from our side. We are, SEBI registered, cleared our certification in the research analyst segment. Also, we don't, trade. Don't have any personal holdings into the commodities that we are going to discuss, or do we do any kind of speculative moves in the commodities market, completely complying with the SEBI guidelines. So, before going into the session ahead, what we were thinking of was, trying to do something new since it's the beginning of the week. And there are a lot of data, a lot of things that has been happening in the global market. Currently, बहुत सारे events हो रहे हैं. जैसे कि last weekend पे हमने देखा था Russia and Ukraine issue got escalated, after which we saw a strong rally coming into the gold prices. Gold prices हमने एक तेजी देखी of approximately 4.5%. So no, this was the best weekly gain in nearly 2.5 years in gold prices. So similar to this, there are various data points, events that comes out into the market. From GDP data are there from across regions. We have the manufacturing and the service sector data, which shows how the manufacturing activities has been performing. In every country, how the services activity has been performing. So better the data, better the economic performance, worse the data, that is the kind of slowdown that we see in the market. So along with, before going into the the trend, what has been happening into the commodities, let's just go and look into the some of the important data that we need to watch out during this week. Only for this week, from Monday to Friday, what are will be the important data points to watch out. So also, before starting the data and everything, I just want to highlight one thing, that this week is a kind of a holiday truncated week in the international market, especially in the US, because US markets are closed on Thursday on account of Thanksgiving Day holiday, and on Friday it's a half day for them. So it's nearly a 4-day holiday for the US market. So that is why we may see some low volume tradings happening. Volatility could remain highest on the high side this week into the commodities, and into the currencies as well. And Thursday and Friday could be a low volume trade session. So starting today, we had this is the few data that are lined up. We have taken the data from Eurozone, Japan, US, UK as well, Germany, and India. And China, yes. So these are the 6 countries that we cover. Eurozone as a composite, 6 countries that we cover in our important day whenever we go in for a data points, because these are important from the currency market perspective as well as from the commodities perspective as well. So starting today, we had the German business expectations, German current sentiments, which were released around 2:30 in the afternoon. So the data that comes out, that would have come out are these are directly correlated to the currency market, because economic performance is there. So the German data that was released today, that must have had an impact on its currency, that is the Eurozone's currency, euro, and must have had an indirect impact on the USD. But the focus remains on more on the US data. Why? Because commodities that we trade generally are priced in dollar terms in the international market, and since we follow cues from the international market, so the US data becomes more important. Uh, Now, from tomorrow onwards, tomorrow and Wednesday, we have few important data that are lined up. That is the S&P Housing Price Index data, which is an year-on-year on a month-on-month data. So, what impact does this data have? A better than expected data. If you see the data, we have mentioned economic date, country currency, economic data, time. This is the data released as per the Indian Standard Time (IST), actual forecast, and the previous. If the data is better than the forecast, it means the data are good. It is positive for the US dollar, negative for the gold and silver because they have inverse correlation. And since it's a housing data, it is positive from the metals perspective, like copper, zinc, which are generally used, in during in the constructions. Next data is the consumer confidence. So what is the previous one is at 108. They are forecasting the consumer confidence to go up. If data comes in line with expectations, it means it is positive for the dollar. It means if consumer confidence is rising, economy is doing good, no, so it is positive for the currency. So that is what the data indicates. And if the data comes in on the lower side, suppose the data comes around 108 or around 109, it means it has come less than expected. So for a moment it would be negative for the dollar and positive for the commodities, that is gold and silver. So this data has a direct impact on commodities and the US dollar. Next is new home sales housing data. So again, the same thing as we discussed in the housing price index. The better the data, it shows the demand is going up. It is positive from the metals perspective. Next is important is the on 27th, 12:30 midnight in the as per the Indian market, the Fed minutes of the Fed's last meeting. Remember, last meeting Fed had cut the rates by 25 basis point. So what was the thought process behind that? So what were the discussions that had happened in the minute, in that meeting? So this is the minutes that comes out. This is important to know what different Fed officials think, before taking before making a decision of a rate cut or keeping the rates unchanged. So this also becomes important. The details of the meeting becomes important to watch out from the market participants perspective. Then next month we again have Fed coming out with its monetary policy on 18th and 19th. So when they come, what is the current process of thinking, what would be the next process of thinking, it gives some highlights of that. Then we have the weekly inventory data from of crude oil, of natural gas, that comes out Wednesday and Thursday. So that has a direct impact on the crude prices. None other prices or neither on the US dollar. Then we have the German consumer climate. So this is important from the eurozone perspective. If the data is comes in positive, it is better for the eurozone country, better for the euro currency. And if euro starts moving up, the dollar starts going down, and it has an indirect impact on commodities, especially gold and silver. Then we have the M3 money supply. This is the domestic market data that comes out at 5 o'clock. Then we have the crucial data coming out on the durable goods, core durable goods. This is important from the demand perspective, how the goods orders are coming, the factory orders are coming. If this is going good, it means that the demand is there domestically, and it is positive from the economic point of view. If this data is showing contraction, negative growth, it means the demand is sluggish. The price pressure could be going down. So everything is linked to one another, and it gets linked up finally to the inflation as well as to the GDP growth rate.
Pranav,
That's
I'd
what.
just like to come in for a second.
Yeah.
Like for our viewers who, or so that they understand, this forecast and previous is on a monthly basis, right? These
Yes,
numbers
yes.
keep coming on a monthly
It's a
basis.
Yeah, it's a survey. Forecast is something like a particular agency has done a survey, and then they have put up a forecast. So this is not our forecast. It is the Bloomberg's forecast, which they have forecasted. Okay, this is what the survey of a 10 analyst or of a survey of a 50 traders. they are expecting this data to come this much
Okay.
against the previous data, and what the comes is the actual one.
Okay, yeah, yeah, you can carry.
Okay. So similarly, we have the GDP data. Now, if everything is going good, the consumer confidence is going up, the durable goods, the factory orders, everything is going good. So in the economy, so your GDP will automatically, it will reflect in your GDP. So if GDP data comes in, for example, in this particular slide, the forecast is of 2.8 and the previous one was 3. What if GDP data comes in at 3.1%? So if GDP grows
Mm.
more than expected, it means the economy is going good. It has come in more than expected, coming more than the previous date month. So it is positive from the currency, that is the dollar perspective, negative from the from for gold and silver price, since they have a inverse correlation. Then similarly, other data is like weekly jobless claims. So what is weekly jobless claims? It's the people who are claiming for unemployment benefits in the US.
Mm.
For they get some certain amount of dollars, if for their unemployments, for their survivals. That's what the US government gives. If that jobless claims, weekly claims data is rising, it means the more number of people are getting unemployed. If it is going down, it is positive from the economic perspective. Okay, the number of people, number of hiring is going good. So there are less people who are claiming unemployment benefits. So that is what it reflects. And if the less the number of people claiming that, positive for the dollar, again negative
Correct.
for the commodities perspective, especially gold and silver perspective. Next is core PCE price index. So what is PCE? PCE is the personal consumption expenditure. So how much are we spending on, how much an individual is spending? It highlights that is the personal consumption expenditure on his personal consumption. This is a very important data looked by the US Federal Reserve along with the inflation data. So if core PCE, the PCE price index, if this data comes in less than expected, or no, it is positive for the dollar, means inflation is going down, which is positive for the
Mm.
economy, and negative for the gold and silver. But if this data comes in more than expected or more than the previous figure, it
Mm.
shows that inflationary pressures are still there. Then the Fed would think twice. Okay, if inflation is still sticky above our target of 2% and it has now started going up, so what they can do, they may take a pause in the interest rate cuts that what most of them are expecting.
Right.
So this
Right.
inflation data is viewed from three perspective. From the central bank perspective, whether they will go in for a rate cut or a rate hike, or they can go in for a unchanged. It shows how the economy is doing. If economy is doing very well, the demand is strong, everything is strong, it is but obvious that the inflation is expected to remain higher. Then if inflation stays higher, everything is going good, no, it may be little bit positive for the currency because the economy is going good, and negative for the gold and silver prices. Next
Right.
is the housing data, again pending home sales. Earlier we saw the existing home sales, before that we saw the housing price index. So that is these are all part of the housing data. Then the personal spending, how much the personal spending is increasing on a month on month basis, similar to the PCE, that is the personal consumption expenditure. Then, as we discussed, the crude inventory data, it comes out. This is the official data from the US government data, which comes out at 9 o'clock every Wednesday.
Okay, so
Then,
crude, US crude is a weekly publication.
yeah, crude oil data, the jobless claims data that comes out, the this one, the second last one. So these are the
Right.
weekly data. Crude inventory data is released every Wednesday. If Monday is a holiday, then it is postponed to Thursday.
Understood. Okay.
And because Thursday is a holiday, we are seeing the initial claims, jobless claims data being released on Wednesday.
Okay.
Then Thursday, obviously we have US markets are closed, but
Pranav,
still
we
we
have
have
a
the.
request from viewers. Please, can we mix it with Hindi?
Yeah, okay. So Thursday we have the German CPI inflation, Germany का inflation data है Tuesday को. So that becomes important from the eurozone perspective, euro currency के perspective से, जिसका indirect impact आपको डॉलर पे और commodities पे आ सकता है. Again Friday, no major data from US. कोई major data नहीं है, because the entire Thursday and Friday it's almost a close for the US market. We have the domestic data that is lined up. It is GDP quarterly, year on year. We have the infrastructure output data, the FX reserves data that that can be watched out on the domestic front. International market front, we have the industrial production and the employment data coming out from Germany. Adding to that would be the CPI inflation from the eurozone, which can have an indirect impact on the no, on the dollar, as well as a little bit on the commodities. So these are the few, the this week, because it's a holiday truncated week. The datas are very few, and to understand, we've tried to simplify it. How we should look at the data and look and the analyze how this data will have an impact on prices.
Right. So again, to cap it off, viewers के लिए पूरे हफ्ते में, इस हफ्ते में जो इम्पोर्टेंट इकोनॉमिक डेटा आने वाला है, जिससे आपका डॉलर या यूरो या जापानीज येन एंड इवन रुपी इफेक्ट होते हैं, उन्हें फॉलो करने के लिए यू कैन रेफर टू दिस कैलेंडर. एंड लाइक प्रणव सेड, कोई डेटा है जो वीकली बेसिस पे आता है और कोई डेटा है जो मंथली बेसिस पे आता है. बट दीज आर वेरी क्रूशियल फॉर एनीवन फॉलोइंग बोथ कमोडिटीज एंड इक्विटी मार्केट्स. या प्रणव, यू
Yes,
कैन गो अहेड.
definitely, because उसका आपको इम्पैक्ट, डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट नहीं आएगा, बट इट कैन हैव एन इनडायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट ऑन इक्विटीज एज वेल.
राइट, राइट.
So next, what we'll look into is we will look into the some technical charts. What we'll look into is the what is the trend, what is happening in the commodity space, be it
Yes.
gold, silver, or the energy space, or we can say the metal space. So this is the long-term chart of gold. So what we analyze from this chart, ever since gold has given us a breakout above 50,000, it has never looked back. We may have seen a small period of consolidation, a small sideways move. If you see the charts carefully, there has been a sideways wedge pattern, a triangle pattern, upside breakout. Every move down, it has been followed by a strong buying support. So what is the difference that we see in the previous, this up moves, and the current previous corrective moves, and the current corrective move, and what you have seen? If you look at the chart carefully, weekly chart, these are the two big candles that we have seen, two big corrections in gold prices. Last week we saw a rally in gold. Again, this week it has started in the negative zone. This is an indication that at current prices, the buyers are a little bit hesitant to go long at in gold prices. Mind you, this is the weekly chart of gold. I will show you the daily one also. So as I have mentioned here, after 2 weeks of correction, prices have again recovered last week. Now we need to watch out. There are two resistances that we need to watch out. First is 76,650, which is last week's high, and next is 78,700. If these two levels are crossed, possibly this week or maybe next week, then this price gains we could see these prices extending these gains, and we could see prices moving again close to its all-time high, and maybe rallying towards 81,000, 82,000 levels as well. But till this level is not breached, we may see some sideways, some consolidative moves is expected in gold. We can say that such moves could be a time correction, and in technical terms. So this is what we are expecting in gold prices. Now, this is the weekly chart. So what do we see in this three moving
Daily.
averages? 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day. So the recent correction that we saw in gold prices have recovered from its 100-day moving average, that is the blue line. We saw a rally till last Friday. Today it has started on the negative side. Here again, prices have come down close to its 50-day moving average, which is around 76,200 somewhere. So support at 76,200, 76,100 would be the crucial to watch out this week. If this support is breached and closed, there is again a possibility we may see prices dipping close to its 100-day moving average. So gold, that if we look at the trend, it is looking little bit on the mixed side. There is no clarity on whether it's going to be going up or down. So better to get a clarity on the trend, and then we can take a call on gold price. Watch out for resistance at on the higher side at around 77,700. The levels that we discussed on this slide: 76,700, 77,700, 78,700 to be breached before we can take a clear view on what could be the price clear trend in gold price. Next, we move to silver. Still in a corrective mode. This is the weekly chart. See, we have seen a breakout. We saw prices rallying to an all-time high of around 96,000. Then we saw a dip to 78 to 70. Again, prices went up to 1 lakh 1 month back. Now we are still in a corrective mode. If you see the chart pattern that has been the candle pattern that the prices have been forming, it's lower lows, lower highs. Another indication that we are in a corrective mode. Unless and until the previous candle's high is not breached, we don't expect a big up move in silver. We should remain on the sell side. So what is the resistance to watch out if we are on the sell side is the last candle was this, where we saw lower lows and lower highs. The high is around 91,650, 91,700. So till this level, जब तक ये level 91,650, 700 क्रॉस नहीं करता, ऊपर लिमिटेड रहेगा. नीचे में थोड़ा ऊपर में आते ही थोड़ा सेलिंग प्रेशर बन जाएगा, जैसे कि हमने पिछले हफ्ते भी देखा. This week we have started on the negative side. We could see prices witnessing more correction close to 88,000. It can dip further close to 86,500, 86,000 levels as well. Abhi, last 2 weeks, if we see this week, last week, prices are just stuck within this candle. It is not going above this 91,650, 700. So why is this stuck between this range? And we are seeing some consolidation, some sideways move in silver. Last week also we saw, despite a big rally in gold. So look at this chart. We have fallen below 50-day moving average. We even fell below 100-day moving average before recovering. So now we are stuck between this long-term moving averages, that is 50-day and 100-day. जब तक इससे ऊपर ब्रेकआउट नहीं आएगा तब तक ट्रेंड क्लियर नहीं होगा. ऐसे ही वोलेटाइल रहेगा, साइडवेज रहेगा, इसी रेंज में ट्रेड करेगा. और अगर ये 100-day मूविंग एवरेज के नीचे क्लोज कर जाता है, we expect it to dip close to our next target, which is comes around 85,500, 85,450 levels. So that is the view on gold and silver. Gold, wait for a little bit of a clarity, या तो फिर थोड़ा डिप दे towards इस support line, वहां पे कुछ हम ट्रेड कर सकते हैं. Positional view in gold looks a little bit unclear. Silver, yes, it is still looking corrective. जब तक 91,650, 700 क्रॉस नहीं करता, 91,650, 700, तब तक हमें ज्यादा तेजी सिल्वर में नहीं लग रही है. नेक्स्ट इज क्रूड. अगेन ये एक वीकली चार्ट सेटअप है. व्हाट वी आर सीइंग क्रूड में लास्ट 4 to 5 ट्रेडिंग वीक्स, एक साइडवेज मूव है, कहीं नहीं जा रहा है क्रूड. नीचे में आता है 5,600, 5,650 के आसपास, ऊपर में चलता है 6,100, 6,150 के आसपास. यही रेंज रहा है लास्ट 5 to 6 वीक से, और इसी में फ्लक्चुएट कर रहा है. सो नाउ व्हाट इज द ट्रेंड? अगर आप देखोगे क्रूड का चार्ट, 50-day मूविंग एवरेज, 100-day मूविंग एवरेज, 200-day मूविंग एवरेज, प्राइस everything, all the moving averages are below each other. मतलब ट्रेंड नेगेटिव है, बेरिश ट्रेंड है. हम एक साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन में है क्रूड प्राइसेस में, अब दिस इज नॉट अ साइन ऑफ अ बुलिश ट्रेंड, इट इज अ करेक्टिव ट्रेंड. हाँ, प्राइजेस हैव रिकवर्ड. लास्ट वीक हमने एक रैली देखी थी, प्राइजेस हैव अगेन कम अबव इट्स 50 डे मूविंग एवरेज. अगर ये ब्रेक करके और ऊपर चलता है, सस्टेन करता है, जो कि ये 6030 का लास्ट वीक का हाई था, देन वी कुड सी पॉसिबली इट गोइंग टुवर्ड्स 6100, 6162, which is again the 100-day moving average. So again, if it crosses that, then only there is a next possibility towards 6,340, 350, 6,400. Otherwise, trend momentum in crude is corrective. As we have mentioned clearly below, daily chart setup shows price is holding support around 5625, 5570. ये जो हमने ट्रेंड लाइन बनाई है. Short term moving averages are below the long term moving average, the trend bearish. Prices are currently between its short term moving average and long term moving average, which is a sign of consolidation. थोड़ा कंसोलिडेटिव मूव्स हमें मिल सकता है. This is very interesting for some risky traders. Natural gas very trader friendly if you are on the right side. अगर आप सही से इसकी ट्रेंड पकड़ ले तो आपको पैसा ही पैसा बना के जाता है. If you miss it, better trade with a stop loss because it's highly volatile. जब चलता है तब वन साइड चलता है और करेक्टिव मूव्स में भी वैसे ही चलता है ये. सो अगर हम देखें नेचुरल गैस, हमने एक ये कलर में ग्रीन में हाईलाइट किया हुआ है. पहले इसी रेंज में कंसोलिडेट कर रहा था नेचुरल गैस. देन वी सॉ ब्रेकआउट एंड अ रैली टुवर्ड्स 253. फिर एक करेक्टिव मूव भी आया अगेन, विच प्राइजेस अगेन टुक सपोर्ट ऑन द रेजिस्टेंस, प्रीवियस रेजिस्टेंस, जो कि 260 के आसपास है, यहाँ पे 190 के आसपास है. तो इस यहाँ से सपोर्ट लेके फिर से इट हैज रिवर्स्ड. इवन इट हैज गिवन अ ब्रेकआउट अबव दिस consolidation, a long consolidation. So trend in natural gas still remains very much positive. Potential targets, how do we decide here? 160 का आप सपोर्ट ले लीजिए, 255 का रेजिस्टेंस ले लीजिए. इट इज अ रैली ऑफ 95 पॉइंट्स फ्रॉम दिस ब्रेकआउट जोन. सो 255 के ऊपर अगर हम 95 पॉइंट ऐड करें, so it comes to close to 340. So that is the potential target of natural gas where it can go in the near term. But yes, stops are necessary. Support levels we need to watch out. First would be the previous resistance, which is now likely to act as a support, which comes around 250, and next is 239, which is this last week's low. जब तक ये दो सपोर्ट ब्रेक नहीं करता, व्यू पॉजिटिव रहेगा नेचुरल गैस में. इट कैन एक्सटेंड इट्स गेन्स एंड मूव अप क्लोज टू 320, 340 लेवल्स, possibly in next 3 to 4 trading weeks. Next is metals. Copper, अगर आप ट्रेंड लाइन देखें from 601, the trend is very much positive. Every correction, consolidation sideways, then it is going up. What we are witnessing currently, एक sideways wedge pattern बना हुआ है कॉपर में. Prices within that wedge are on the positive side, on the rising side. What is the support in wedge? 784, which is the strong support that we need to watch out. जब तक ये 784 ब्रेक नहीं करता, chances है copper prices can go up close to 835, 850 levels, possibly in next coming 3 to 4 trading weeks. So that is how the outlook for copper looks like. Upside also looks capped. अगर आप देखिए तो ये डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग ट्रेंड लाइन बनी है जो 881, 867, 861 को कनेक्ट कर रही है. सो दैट विल एक्ट एज अ रेजिस्टेंस. इसके ऊपर अगर चलता है प्राइस, देन वी मे सी अ ब्रेकआउट एंड अनदर राउंड ऑफ रैली कुड बी सीन. बट जब तक इसी रेंज में है, वी एक्सपेक्ट दिस कंसोलिडेशन टू कंटिन्यू इन कॉपर, एंड प्राइसेस मे ट्रेड बिटवीन 784 डाउनसाइड to 750, 755 on the upside. See, this is the same thing on daily chart. आपके support 765, 778, 784, and your resistance at 881, 867, 810. So maximum that we see upside is 855, 850. Support immediate basis पे अगर आपको देखना है तो आप 800 के आसपास, 790 के आसपास, या तो 784 का बहुत ही बढ़िया सपोर्ट रहेगा। अब हम जब मेटल्स की बात करते हैं, then we should look into the December futures, because November futures are in during in the tender period, last 5 trading days. We will avoid,
Hmm.
taking positions in November, because there are possibility of, you are getting marked delivery. So whatever trades we do, which we do in December futures, which is currently trading around 810 809 levels in the market. This is the rollover chart which we are seeing. This is the continuous, current chart. So that is why the rates are different in both the charts. But 784 remains a strong support, and we have a potential upside towards 840 850 levels. Next is aluminum weekly chart. Again, the trend is very much positive. It has broken out from its range of 215, 220 upside to 190, 185, 180 downside. We have seen a correction, and prices have again started moving higher. Trend remains very much positive. Support that we need to watch out would be around 234, 230. These are the two strong supports for aluminium. Currently it's trading around 244 level, so we'll just wait for a small dip in aluminium. If अगर डिप मिलता है तो बाय डेफिनेटली बाय करके चलना चाहिए. ऊपर की तरफ में टारगेट्स इसके बनते हैं 260 280 लेवल्स ऑन अ पोजिशनल बेसिस. This is lead. Abhi, in contrast, completely in contrast to what is happening in copper, what is happening in aluminium, what is happening in zinc, lead, it is in a corrective mode. Continuous correction है. अगर आप charts भी देखोगे, last 3-4 weeks का formation, lower lows, lower highs है. So what is the immediate resistance? It is 182.50. जब तक लेड ऊपर में 182.50 क्रॉस नहीं करता, we don't expect any upside in lead prices. It can see this corrective move to continue and can test our targets of 175 173 on the downside. So this is what the trend in the lead looks like. As per the chart pattern, अगर आप देखोगे तो कहीं नहीं जा रहा है, इसी वेज पैटर्न में है. 198 173 196 173 अगेन. हियर अगेन इट ट्राइड अ ब्रेकआउट, बट फिर से नीचे आ रहा है. So this is all from my side on the economic data point of view. For what are the data that you need to watch out, how this data will have an impact on commodities, on certain currencies, as well as the trend, what is happening in gold, what is happening in silver, crude, natural gas. And so this is all I had to share. I'll open this forum for Q&A. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Yeah, thank you, Pranav. Pranav, can you stop sharing the screen?
Yeah.
No, so thank you so much, Pranav. As usual, जो हमारे viewers हैं, जो हमारे साथ बहुत वक्त से जुड़े, उन्हें पता होगा कि प्रणव हर बार कोशिश करते हैं कि कमोडिटीज में आप इतने ही स्क्रिप्ट्स है, आप इतनी ही चीजों का आउटलुक दे सकते हैं, पर वो हर बार कोशिश करते हैं कि हमारे व्यूअर्स के लिए कुछ तो एक बढ़िया, कुछ तो एक अलग. इस बार इकोनॉमिक डेटा था. हमारा प्रीवियस वेबिनार आप जरूर चेक कीजिएगा ऑन रीडिंग कमोडिटी ऑप्शंस. उसमें कमोडिटी ऑप्शंस में ट्रेडिंग करते हैं तो वो एंड में चेंज हो जाता है. व्हेन टू ट्रेड ऑन इट, व्हेन टू नॉट ट्रेड ऑन इट, हाउ टू रीड कमोडिटी ऑप्शन चेंज. ऐसे कुछ ना कुछ हमेशा क्रिएटिव हम लेके आने की कोशिश करते हैं कि सो दैट यू ऑल नॉट ओनली गेट द बेसिक आइडिया एंड द बेसिक आउटलुक, but also come to know something new. So yeah, Pranav, thank you so much for that. Everyone, please get your questions in the live chat. We will be taking questions. Pranav, we have a question right now, which actually is a very burning question right now. Sir, rupee itna क्यों गिर रहा है? I know it's a currency one, but I think it's on everyone's mind.
See, अगर आप देखो तो what has been happening after US elections. The उसमें अगर आप हमने इलेक्शन में यूएस प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प का विक्ट्री हुआ. नाउ ही इज मोर ऑफ वी कैन से American kind of a thing, like how our prime minister has been promoting make in India. So he has been more of making America, so American first
Hmm.
policies. So what has happened ever since he has been elected, most of the currencies, अगर आप देखोगे global currencies, everything has come under selling pressure. The dollar has
Right.
rallied from around, dollar index has rallied from around 102 to 107. सो
Mm-hmm.
तो उसका थोड़ा इम्पैक्ट इंडियन करेंसीज पे भी आएगा. अगर आप
Right.
चार्ट्स भी देखो तो रुपी स्लोली एंड स्टेडीली धीरे धीरे डेप्रिशिएट होते ही जा रहा है. उसने जो
Mm-hmm.
हेजर्स होते थे उनको एक चांस दिया था 8350 के 8360 के आसपास, जब 2 महीने पहले आया था कि भाई अपनी पोजीशंस हेज कर लो, हम तो अभी यहाँ से रिवर्स करने वाले हैं. और
Mm-hmm.
तो दैट इज व्हाट इज वन मेजर थिंग कि भाई व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन. फिर रिसेंट में हमने देखा है एफआईआई के आउटफ्लोज बहुत हुए हैं, सो दैट इज ऑल्सो
जी
लिटिल बिट नेगेटिव फॉर आवर करेंसी. Although
जी.
economically, Indian markets, we are domestically very much strong as compared to the global market, but थोड़ा बहुत sentiments आता ही है, and we have not depreciated so much like other currencies कि हम
Mm-hmm.
ज़्यादा ही negative में नहीं है. We are going slowly and steadily.
राइट. नहीं, एंड इट्स वेरी रेलेवेंट, और आपने जो कहा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज इमर्जिंग मार्केट्स में इंडियन रुपी हैज एक्चुअली फॉलन द लीस्ट. Other
Yes.
currencies have actually taken a much worse beating. But actually, that brings me to the next question. So, uh, like, because of this, the RBI, it is their responsibility obviously to shore up the rupee, but at the same time we they also have to let the rupee fall, right? Because if emerging markets currencies become cheaper, it will affect our exports.
See, RBI has been doing its job completely perfectly. They are,
Mm,
not allowing either the rupee to appreciate quickly or depreciate
mm.
quickly. They are
Okay.
doing their job rightly, directly, indirectly. Whatever has been happening in the market, the rupee has been
Mhm.
going down, but they are doing their job. We cannot, they cannot intervene quickly into the market. So it would be just a one intervene. What about next day then? It may
Yeah.
again start going up because global
Right.
factors matters. We have seen,
Right.
in the previous occasion also, Bank of Japan, they had intervened in the market from around when the Japanese yen fell to 161. What happened? It came down to 147. After three
Mm.
months, 4 months down the line, now again it is at 156.
Right. Right.
So it is better to be a managed one rather than intervene again and again. So even
Right.
while intervening in the market, you need to use your FX reserves.
Correct. 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 Correct.
So why should use unnecessary your reserves in intervening?
Right, right, right. Okay. Taking to the next question. I think we already did gold and silver view is done. We've got one question. Physical gold or ETF? I'm guessing they mean physical gold or gold ETF.
सी फिजिक अगर आपको खर्चा नहीं रखना है, no,
Hmm.
of maintaining it in a bank locker, any gold, if you purchase it physically, you will be purchasing it 5 gram 10 gram. You won't be going to
Hmm.
purchase 1 kg. So
Correct.
physical gold का एक the disadvantage है, you need to go to the market, to the buyer, to the jeweler, purchase, pay the GST, bring it home. अब आप घर पे तो रखेंगे नहीं उसको, बैंक के लॉकर में
Hmm.
रखेंगे.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that is your additional cost that is involved. ETF में आपका ऑनलाइन रहेगा. 1 1 ग्राम यू कैन इवन अक्यूमुलेट. आप
Hmm.
उसको
Hmm. Hmm.
हर हर मंथ में 2 ग्राम 3 ग्राम एज पर योर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी और for your purchasing capacity. People will be
Hmm.
purchasing 5 5 gram every month. So that you can
Right.
ETF, you can add it anytime. Plus the rate that the jeweler physical gold will be little bit higher as compared to the the exchange rate is. So
Right.
that would be the premium that you will be paying. So if suggesting between the two, I feel ETF is the right option. Whenever you require gold, sell off your ETF and purchase it from the market.
Right. 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 That leads me into one thing. What is the difference then between ETF, gold ETF, and gold fund of funds? There is this thing, fund of funds, where they take like
Yeah,
multiple gold
those are
items. So,
managed. Those are managed by mutual fund houses. What is fund of fund? Is fund of funds invest in either in some part into gold, physical gold or gold futures. They will be hedging it, and some into the
Mhm.
gold ETFs. So that
Okay.
is fund of
Okay.
funds.
Okay, okay. I have one more question on. I think I have it on Twitter over here. Sir, CPE index का relevance नहीं समझा.
PCE
The I
index,
think
PCE,
हाँ the
PCE index.
on the
See,
calendar. Yeah.
PC, yeah, PC index क्या होता है? It is personal consumption expenditure. अभी आप कुछ किसी चीज को पर्सनल किसी यू इफ यू परचेजिंग इट फॉर योर सेल्फ यू आर विल बी परचेजिंग इट फॉर योर पर्सनल कंजम्पशन. अगर आपका पर्सनल कंजम्पशन बढ़ता है योर इट मीन्स योर
हम्म
स्पेंडिंग पावर इज इंक्रीजिंग. इफ योर स्पेंडिंग
हम्म
पावर इज इंक्रीजिंग तो डिमांड आएगी. डिमांड आएगी तो प्राइजेस भी बढ़ेंगे. फिर अगर प्राइस इनिशियली प्राइस बढ़ेंगे बिकॉज सप्लाई वुड बी लिमिटेड. तो once the demand goes up, the price goes up, it brings the inflation up. Got it?
I hope so. I think they must have. Yeah, but and that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much everyone for joining in. आप लोग हमें join करते हैं. You give us likes, comments. It encourages us ताकि हम आप लोगों के लिए ऐसे और content लाते रह सके. And thank you so much Pranav for your time.
Thank
And
you.
to our viewers, always as always like, share, and subscribe to all our socials. Because we will constantly make it a point कि हम आपके लिए market related, commodities related, all the news we bring to you at your fingertips. So make sure to follow blinkX. And thank you viewers, and thank you Pranav.
Yeah. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, everyone.